Now, before anything, I am not going to blame that top end kit for what happened. I clearly think that this is a head gasket failure. I obviously must have put too cheap of one on. I'm thinking that's what happened because I had to take the head back off because I replaced the base gasket. I put some RTV on it, but I didn't want to reuse the head gasket that I actually bought like for good use, and I used the one that was out of the cheap kit that I bought just for a couple of seals, and that's probably where my problem started there. So I'm not going to blame the top end kit whatsoever. I'm just banking on that the rod didn't bend. That's what I'm banking on right now. But I'm like saying that this has to be a head gasket. There's no way that this top end kit caused that. Because I got the head surfaced, and after I did get the four wheeler running, like it killed itself whenever it was just idling. I was idling and I was getting ready to take off. As soon as I put it in reverse and started backing up and I turned just a little bit, it idled real low and then shut off, and a bunch of smoke went out the back. So I'm assuming head gasket. I let it sit there and it was smoking for quite a bit. So I'm assuming the inside was like hot. So I let it sit there for a little bit, tried to start it, and it turned over. And it didn't turn over slow or anything. It just turned over. It just wouldn't fire. So I knew that there had to be coolant inside there. I was smelling it. Didn't smell like oil. When I put my hand over it, like when it was smoking, it was very vapor and it smelled very sweet. So I knew that had to be coolant. So I was sitting there. I tried to bump it a few times, still couldn't get it. So I had to have my grandpa come tow me back up to the house. After I took the spark plug out, it was, wet completely. So I cleaned it off real well, dried it up, and then I bumped her a few times without the spark plug in, put the spark plug back in, and it cranked over for a little bit, and then finally fired and then ran, and then that's when most of the smoke was gone, and then it slowly started coming back. So that's when I know, like, that has to be a head gasket just seeping into it. Also, the weep hole on the water pump was also having a bunch of air come out. So obviously there's some compression that's pushing all the way through the cooling system that's causing that weep hole to just shoot a bunch of pressure out of it. So obviously I'm going to have to tear it back down again. So if you have any questions about the teardown, about that four-wheeler from any starting point all the way down to the head getting removed, because obviously I got to take the head off, replace that head gasket, put it back together. Hopefully hopefully the rod is not bent. I'm banking on that, but I will talk about that when I get to that point. But I'm going to have like a 2-week grace period before I start on this. So if you have any questions, ask them now, or if you need to know anything that you need a video on, I can do it. Just let me know now. So yeah, that's about it. So if you guys have any other questions about it, as of right now, I did finally get the jets correct. I was actually hauling ass down the road quite a bit before it did blow up, and I guess idling too long. Like, I've had that thing idle forever, like during hunting season, like warming it up in the morning while I'm eating or something. Never had an issue, but I don't know why. Somehow just idling it for maybe 10 minutes and I go to take off and then it breaks. I don't know. It's strange, but cheap head gasket probably wouldn't have lasted that much longer anyways. But I was getting her down the road, so obviously that kit's standing up to quite a bit of abuse so far, and I've only put about 10 hours altogether on it. Had no issue other than this head gasket blow. So yeah, if you guys want any more videos like this, please subscribe.